by like 30 minutes takeoff. So then they say, oh, we're good to go. And we start going out to the runway. And we stop on the runway. And the lady goes, all right, we can't take off. No, that's not what she said. That's essentially what she said. No, she said, oh, there's too many planes landing in Minneapolis right now.
She didn't say like, we're here. You could have more.
And please exit the plane to the left. Hello and welcome to the show with no name. My name is Daniel, aka Daniel. His name is Brendan, aka B, and that's usually what we refer to you as. B, I have a question for you. Actually, I want to address something first. So we tend to, for the most part, when we're doing this podcast, we tend to go back occasionally, and we grab something out of a previous episode, and that was the motivator for what came behind, what this episode is going to be about. And so I want to talk about something. Now, it's not exactly what it was that we were talking about, but it was in essence probably the main point of one of those episodes. Back when we talked about Back to the Future, one of the things that we talked about was predicting things that are going to happen within the next 25 years, but we were also looking over things that Back to the Future had predicted would happen in 25 years, essentially. And some of those things sadly did not come to be. Probably the most prized possession that didn't quite make it was the invention of the hoverboard. Now, I don't know about you, but I would love to have a hoverboard. And I can't wait till the technology is available that we can have a hoverboard. And I believe that we'll have one eventually. I think the hoverboard will eventually become a thing, but right now it just isn't a thing. So rather than thinking about the inventions that can't exist because of technology issues, my question for you today is, if you were to think of inventions that should exist today, that could exist, as in the technology is already here, like why don't we have this already? Do you have anything that comes to mind that's off of the top of your list of things that we should have, but we don't quite have at this point?
No, episode over.
I don't believe that for a second.
All right, so what do we, like, literally, that you kind of scratch your head, or you're kind of like boggling your head at, like, how come we haven't figured this out already?
Like,
not like flying cars.
Exactly. It's like, how is this not a thing already? Like, how is this? Because I mean, now, don't get me wrong, I came prepared. I have a few on here already that I already know for myself. Like, I'm mind boggled that these things don't exist. But I want to know, is there anything in your head that you just feel like this needs to exist? Why doesn't this exist
This
yet?
is the very first thing that came to my mind.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be, I hope people don't take this the wrong way or anything like that, but I think we should have a cure for cancer by now. Because cancer has been around for years and years and years and years. And it seems like we don't, with all the millions and possibly billions of dollars that we have poured, not just into, so there's the amount of money, the large amounts of money that we've poured into cancer research alone, and then the massive amounts of money that not just the United States of America, but the world as a whole have poured into medical research. And all of those breakthroughs here and there, and we still can't find a cure for this thing that has been killing us for, decades and decades and decades. Now, some would say, and I think we talked about this maybe on the first episode, some would say that there is a cure for it already. You can kind of go with, and to some degree, I see their point. So I'm going to take it off topic just a little bit, but get back to it, is that sugar feeds cancer, right? Sugar is like cancer's biggest buddy. They're like, when you have cancer, the last thing you want to do is eat sugary things and sweets and whatnot. And so a lot of people like you notice that as much as I love dessert, as much as I love sugary things, having had cancer in the past, I tend to shy away or watch my sugar intake.
Sure, and I was going to say before you continued, I was going to say out of anybody who who may be able to speak on this topic, you've had cancer before,
True,
so
exactly.
you're a cancer survivor. So this is not far from your realm of of knowledge.
Right. I don't take it lightly to all the people who have had it. Are like, man, what are you talking about? My friend had it or died from it. Yeah. So no, I've been there, and I've had friends who have suffered from it as well. So I think a lot of it is diet, and if you look at the Western world, especially America, Canada, we're this. Right? And today I was at work and this lady's like, this meal can be ready in 4 minutes. And as I'm walking back to my desk, I'm thinking, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about having things and having them right now. And not necessarily that the microwave is the enemy, but mine is used for the timer 90% of the time.
Sure.
But so people will say that there's a specific vitamin that literally battles and destroys cancer cells. And it's found in the two biggest foods that it's found in are the apricot seed, and then the other one is the lima bean. And think about it. When's the last time you had lima beans or even seen lima beans? Right? Your friends don't eat
probably
them.
Probably like in the school cafeteria,
Right, when
and
you were
you
a
just
kid.
avoid it. You just like ran away from it. You're just like, I don't know what that is. I don't like it.
You're like, I don't want that. Right? So like these foods that we don't eat, and then yet all we do is we pop down, quick snack and soda and bam, bam, bam. So I'm shocked. Like, well, how come we don't have a cure for this thing called cancer yet that is killing us? So that was the first thing that came to mind, and I'm gonna have to think. That's a good question, though. I'm gonna have to think of some other ones.
Now,
because I don't want to throw out silly, stupid stuff.
That's kind of the whole point.
Oh, is to throw out silly, stupid things?
No, so
how come we don't have X-ray glasses?
No.
Because they keep advertising.
again,
like in the 70s, when you go to the back of the comic book, they're like, send $5 and get your X-ray glasses. Well, how come we don't have that
I'm
by
not.
now?
Okay, so maybe I should have put some preferences on things. I'm not talking about things that can't exist, meaning that they can't, like, we just haven't found. And so I was going to. I feel bad now because you're making some great points, and I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off of an important topic, but I kind of wanted to have a little more light.
I told you, I don't know why. The very
conversation.
first thing that came to my mind was cancer.
It's okay. It's all right. When I
cancer.
started thinking about the idea of this topic, that was one of the first things that came to my mind as well. So don't get me wrong.
Oh,
I
good.
think that's just because it's on the tip of everybody's tongue. Because I feel like, how many times do you hear people asking for you to give to cancer research? And I'm not saying people shouldn't give to cancer research. It's just that has been so engraved into my brain over my entire life that I'm just at the point where now I'm just thinking like, why haven't we figured it out yet?
Right. How much money have we given?
I mean, how much money has been given to cancer research to date? Does anybody know? I mean, does Google know? Maybe Google knows. I don't know.
And how much of that money is going to research?
How much of that's going to research? How much of that is going into, doctors' pockets or scientists' pockets or whoever it's going? Who knows? How many of that is actually going to the research? Why haven't we figured that out yet? Type of thing. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to take it away. I don't see now. I feel bad because we're going to take the spotlight away from an important issue.
No, it's good. It's good. Keep going. We want to have people laugh at the show.
That's true. This is supposed to be a fun show.
3D printers now.
We have 3 printers.
3D printers.
Oh, 3D. I thought you said amazing. We, like our show. Like, how did man? I was like, when did we get an office? We have 3 printers now. My goodness.
They're all for printing stuff that is
what
related
are we printing
to audio.
Out?
I know. What is
it? No, so maybe I should give an example. Okay, I should probably give some of my examples, and then maybe that'll help set the tone a little bit as we totally go in a different direction here. I'm talking about things that we're already there. Like, it's not like the technology isn't there. It's not that the science isn't there. It's just nobody's done it yet, or maybe somebody has done it in some obscure location in the world, and it's not in mass production. Right, and I just want to know. So, for example, in other words,
wait, before you get to your example,
I
do have one that's a little, I don't want to say silly, but with all the technology advances that we have, and a lot of them that go towards like the military, how come we don't have, and I don't mean like 100% of this, but how come we at least don't have half of an Iron Man suit for all of our soldiers? Right? Like helmets with like the laser, maybe not necessarily just shooting laser beams out of them, but why don't we have wrist rockets? Why don't we have like helmets that they can put on and they see like the Terminator, right? Because we have, what are those, Echo Specs or what are those things?
Sure.
Remember Spec Ops 9 where the guy puts the thing down, he's got 14 Oculuses, and they're all like...
I think I can take a stab at that. I think it has to do with budgeting. As much as I think that would be really cool, like,
right.
not budgeting, I think it's just money. I mean, this is taking a direct quote out of a movie, but if anybody who's seen the Batman series, knows that at least the most recent Batman series, the ones with that Christopher Nolan did, knows that the bat suit that Batman wears is an exoskeleton that was originally designed for the military. At least that's what Lucius Fox explains to Batman's character. Right, and they scrapped it because they said, in Lucius's words, he said, the government didn't think that a soldier's life was worth $9 million.
Got it. Yep.
Now, granted, $9 million, that sounds really outlandish for that. But still, I think it really comes down to an issue of money. But that is definitely a good one. I was thinking of something. So again, the topic is not about things that don't exist. Like, now, we're not saying like build a lightsaber.
Right.
Okay. Like, how does a lightsaber not exist? It's because we haven't figured it out yet. I'm talking like, how come we don't have an ironing board that doesn't screech like a pterodactyl every time you open it up? Like, why is that not a thing? Now I'll be completely honest with you, okay? Some of these I've heard other people say. I heard a comedian say that before, so I'm not taking that one for myself. But it's true. It's 100% true. Why is it that every ironing board that you've ever opened up in your life, like, I'll be honest, there've been nights. So when I was younger, and I was in my parents' house, and I wanted to iron a shirt for the next day, to go to school or something like that. My parents are already asleep. The ironing board is right outside their door, and I take it to my room quietly, and then I start to open it up, and it's like, it's just like the loudest thing that echoes across the entire house, and you're thinking, I'm just trying to iron my shirt. Why does this thing have to sound so obnoxiously loud? Shrieker. It doesn't make any sense. And see, here's the funny thing is, that's my experience in my house, but I guarantee anybody who has ever opened an ironing board knows exactly what I'm talking about.
So funny, exactly. No, it's exactly. I don't even own an ironing board. I iron my shirts and my pants. Anything that needs to be ironed, I do it in my kitchen on my granite. I got like a granite counter, and I just throw it on the granite counter. So
you figured out we don't need an invention. You just get a granite. Everybody needs granite countertops. That's what it is. So I have a few other ones. Actually, I have quite a few. Some of these are kind of stupid, but I just thought they were kind of funny. Now, you don't own a cat. I don't own a cat. I actually found out this year I'm allergic to cats, which was a little disappointing because I've had cats in my life, but I don't have one right now, and I enjoy cats. I think cats are really cool. I think they are definitely not dogs, and I know that's such a stupid thing to say. Like, anybody has ever thought, cats are dogs, mate. Like, cats are dogs. No.
You see the red light at the top? That's definitely different from the green light at the bottom.
Exactly.
Just so you know.
Cats and dogs are very different. They're absolutely different. But and I like them for different reasons.
But you know what I love? I love when cats act like dogs.
When cats act like dogs. Oh, yeah. When cats act like dogs. Yeah, that is really cool. Anyway, anybody who's owned cats and has tried to do computer work knows that cats don't let you do your work at your desk. They're going to jump up. They're going to hit your mouse. They're going to sit on your table. How come nobody's invented a desk that is like thick enough that in the interweavings of the desk, it's like a playground place for a cat so that they'll be entertained while you're trying to work?
But the cat would still get bored at that and jump up on your keyboard. So you would
you know what? You're probably right.
You would need like anti-cat material inside the desk to like repel it, right? The cat is thinking about jumping up there, but it's like, man, that smells nasty.
Maybe it's just like it's a treat dispenser and it's in the middle of the like in the intertwines of the desk. It's like in like a cave in there. Like they have to climb in there. And you can train it. I mean,
now
you can train it
like Roach Motel. So the cat gets in,
and it can't get out,
and it's like, wow, the rest of the time you're working.
It's
you
just
gotta like take your stuff off, open it up, pull it out.
He's just, oh man.
I think that's why they haven't invented that.
That's probably why. Okay. All right, that one I found on the internet. Okay, I do have. This is funny that I'm mentioning this one. My
Pillowcases that like always stay cool.
No. Wait, what?
Pillowcases that always stay cool.
Why isn't that a technology yet?
I don't know. There's a website called My Pillow.
Really?
Yeah, and apparently they make like the greatest pillow in the world. And I've never some people swear by it, and a few people are like, I don't like it.
It's called mypillow.com.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's .com, but it's consult Book of Google under MY. Yeah, it's My Pillow, and they custom make pillows for you. I think I don't know if they customize it, but they make them for you, and people are like, oh, these are the greatest thing ever. But yeah, I don't know if they stay cool on both sides.
So again, and I'm sure there's some obscure place where somebody's probably trying to figure out this technology, right? There's got to be someone out there.
This is why we don't have supervillains, because all of the madmen in the world are trying to figure out things like, how can I keep my cat off my keyboard while I conquer the world? Or how can I keep my pillow sheet cool?
Exactly. So again, all these ones are the technology is already there. It's not that we don't have the technology. It's just nobody's put it together, or something of that nature. And so this next one, prior to us recording this, I was speaking with my girlfriend, and she asked me what the topic was for tonight. And so I let her in, and she said, you better say my topic, or you better say my idea for what I think. So this is her idea. So you know how you have lights that you can, clap on and clap off? That's already a thing. She's like, what if I want to shut my door and I'm too lazy to get up to shut the door?
Preach that. That's the best.
Why can't I?
That's the best.
Why isn't there a clap for the door too?
I was thinking of like locks, but yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, well, how about different commands will, lock it or something.
Start the shower, or or
start my coffee in the morning.
Start the kettle, exactly. I need tea.
You know what it needs to be, and now this would be a lot more. And again, this is going a little off what I was saying before. You just need a remote for the whole house. Why don't you just have a remote? And it'll charge in your bed. Like it's got a charge port on your bed. So, like if when you're in your bed, the last place you're going to be for the night, you pull it out and you're just like, okay, lights off, lock door, turn on alarm, whatever, put it back in there. Fluff pillow, and then put it back in there.
Fluff pillow is a perfect. So I'm going to go a little bit further with that one. And why can't we have like house AI, right? We have AI to some degree, but you wake up and you go, rather than consult your watch or open up your iPad or something like that, you just go, what's the weather like outside? And the cute, sexy voice says, the weather outside is currently 67 degrees with clouds out of the southwest or whatever, right? And if you're a girl...
If that's your idea of a cute voice, then I don't want to wake up to that. That sounds like...
weather outside is currently 68 degrees or whatever it is. And so for the women, they could have like some sexy guy, some husky guy like Barry White or something, be like, hey, baby, the weather outside is 27. Better wrap up or whatever, right? But you could
wrap up.
You could have multiple things that you could do, like how's traffic, without having to.
But I kind of feel so I don't feel like we're too far off of that, because Amazon has what is Amazon's technology?
Do they have some kind of wireless
Echo? Yeah, it's like a
that?
little.
Oh, wow.
It's a little black like cylinder. She's kind of like Siri, but you can like research things on her. She's like,
really?
She's
so
like she sits in your house.
So it's a black obelisk like 2001 or 2010 Space Odyssey.
So you like ask her. So you ask her a question and she'll research.
What's the capital
of? What's the capital of?
I was about to say, what's the capital of malaria? And she'd be like, I'm sorry.
Mosquitoville. I have no idea.
The swamp.
Okay, so those are a few. Now there's a couple of other ones that I found online. Now one of them I found this online, but I added to it. I'm just surprised that this isn't a thing, and this fits perfect for you and me, because I remember when I was younger and you used to give me rides around, and we listened to Ghetto Blaster by Cirrus. Is that who it was? Cirrus was the name of the Cyrus or what? Sirius.
It's the same. It's spelled the same as the cloud.
Okay,
so
Cirrus.
Yeah.
Then it's got to be Cirrus.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Ghetto Blaster.
Exactly. So we listen to Ghetto Blaster, and they get to that scratching part of that techno song, and you'd be up there on your steering wheel scratching. People do that with their steering wheel all the time, but they also bang on it. What if it was an actual audible drum or scratchable turntable?
That would be great.
How cool would that be?
Love that.
Why is that not a thing? Like, like you're listening to a song and you're just like, bam, like hitting on with it, like you're drumming along with it.
The pro is that would cut down on so much road rage, but the con is that would probably add to accidents because people would be like, watch this right into a car.
That's
How
when
would you explain this, please?
That's when the police report comes up. He's like, all right, so tell me what you were doing. I was trying to cut a fat beat, bro.
Perpetrator says, trying to cut a fat beat. Guilty.
So there was a lot of really dumb ones that I found online, but there were a few other ones that I thought were kind of cool and not necessarily, maybe not quite as comical or as funny as some of these other ones that I mentioned already. But another one that I thought was interesting, someone had suggested a floor plan light switch. So like the light switch that you see when you get to the end of your house and you're leaving is your floor plan, and you can turn on or turn off any light in any room in your house.
I like that. Yeah,
and I thought that was a cool idea.
That's cool.
I was like, that's really clever, because you know how many times I had left my apartment and I'm walking through. My apartment was like 650 square feet, and yet I'm walking into each room, bathroom, am I turning off all these lights, making sure everything's turned off. And how many times did I come home and I'm like, I left my closet light on? Like, now you'll have an easy thing that's at the very end.
You didn't come home thinking you left your closet light on. You came in and you thought, there's someone in my closet.
There's someone in my closet.
Ex-murderer.
Now, I will say, I guess there's already some sort of technology that kind of takes over that, and that's the app. There's apps now that you can have plugged into
so now
your system.
You can control them when you're not at home, right? You could be like, turn light on, and that's really neat. I like that.
But those require like paying an extra service.
Yeah,
and I feel like the light switch one is just a wiring thing.
Right.
It's not like it's adding new technology there. It's just wiring it to all go to one switch. That's all it is. So I don't feel like that's too far off. Another one that I thought was kind of interesting, again, not quite as funny, but just, one thing. Now this actually, it doesn't necessarily hit home for me, but I've had friends who've been in this situation. Now I know this isn't like a big deal. At least I don't hear about it talked about all the time. Maybe it is a big deal. I don't know. I'm not a woman, so this isn't something that I really have to deal with. But purse snagging. People, get their purse stolen all the time, and you think, like, why aren't purses automatically come with like a little GPS radar thing on it?
Smart or sewn into it already, yeah.
Yeah, why isn't that already in there?
Right,
I feel like that would be something that would be pretty simple to have. I don't feel like, it's not like we don't have that technology already.
Right, that's so many things as it is. You're like your dog collar, or some people have that in the dog, right? They have a chip in the dog, yeah.
Exactly, but a purse for a woman, at least, for my girlfriend and for other people that I've known, that carries a lot more than just, that's not just their money, okay? Right. That's their credit cards, that's not like, it's not just their wallet like a dude where it's their credit cards, their money, and their IDs. That may have a lot more stuff in it too that's important to them that they don't want to lose, type of thing. And your purse gets snagged and it's gone. It's gone. And the person's only going after the money too. You probably won't recover the purse. You might recover the purse and the other stuff, but you probably won't. So rather than, with the radar, you're going to get the purse back. You may not get the perpetrator, but you're going to get the purse back, and you might get most of your stuff back. Yeah, most of the stuff back. You might not get your money
back, and then get a new purse and transfer your stuff into the new purse. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
That's a good one.
So anyway, that was one of those ones that I saw that I just thought was like, oh, that actually sounds like it might be a good idea. Now there was a few on there, and there's only one in particular that I wanted to mention that at first I thought was a good idea, and then I realized I think that's a horrible idea. So one of the suggestions that I saw there as a something that should have already been invented at this point is the idea of you mentioned this earlier. You were talking about stoplights. You said the difference is red and green and blah blah blah. So someone had suggested having the stoplight be an hourglass that's like red, and then it's slowly like dissipating. So that way
idea.
When it's going to be green. And at first I thought, that's a really cool idea. And then I thought, No, that's a really dumb idea. People would be rushing
That's right.
that red light like nobody's
That is
business.
exactly right. They already rush it as it is.
They already rush
don't
it
give
as
them
it is.
more
I was like,
incentive to, right?
Don't give people more incentive to rush the light. I was like, oh, no, that's not a good idea.
So here in the DC area, I have discovered that, so since I didn't drive as much, but we've moved to we're kind of in this offsite office building, so I tend to do a little bit more driving now. And I've noticed that, it's the same everywhere that it is. Like as the light is turning yellow and red, people are rushing through it. But when it's green, people are like braking, they're stopping, they're like looking around. There's no traffic anywhere, and they're like, "Well, it's green. I don't know if I'm." And you're like, "What? Get out of the way! Get out!" It's the opposite. It's the complete opposite. I don't understand. And they're coming up on the intersection and it's green. They're like, "Brake."
They're slowing down.
Brake. I'm like, what? You're slowing down so that when it turns yellow, you can speed up and run through. What are you doing? No wonder people here are so frustrated and crazy.
See, and for me, I'll be honest. I run yellow lights all the time, and I've probably run a few that were close to red. And I'm not saying you've never done that. Is that what you said?
I have done.
Oh, okay.
I have done.
Well, you told me one time.
Here, I'm like, I'm out.
You told me one time that you had a cop tell you to go through a red light.
Which is true.
Which is awesome.
Not just go through it, but take a left turn on it. Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Not just did he tell you, it wasn't like he got out of the car and said, like, he got in and he's like, go.
Yeah. He got this.
What are you doing?
You can go ahead and turn.
You can go ahead and turn. I'm like, you said it. He said it. How mad would you have been? Now, for those of you who don't know the story,
I had witnesses in the car. There were 2 other people with me.
I'm not saying witnesses. I'm saying
right.
How mad
if he'd
have
pulled me
been?
over and given me a ticket?
No, not pulled you over.
Okay.
How mad would you have been if a month later you got a letter that had a picture of you from the stoplight camera running the light and you got a ticket because
See, that's why I brought up the 2 witnesses, is because I had somebody in shotgun seat and somebody in the back seat. And so I could have said, look, this is the story. These 2 men can confirm it for me.
But it's your word against the city.
No, it's 3 people's words against the city.
But they're not going to see it that way. You're the operator. You could bring in Johnny Hoo Ha and say that this person was sitting in the car with me, and they may not actually believe you.
No, but at that point, I actually have a case, and they have to at least listen to the case.
Right?
So you're right.
Okay.
At the end, the judge may go, "You're all 3 of you are lying."
Sure,
but
that's true.
I can at least go, "I rebutted this because I have 2 witnesses."
Good luck getting your friends to come to court with you on a work day,
because
they'll be like,
"Yeah, I ain't going."
I've
come
heard.
on, I'd do it for you. Actually, I wouldn't do it for you. No, I wouldn't.
I've heard some interesting stories about how like cops who give out tickets and stuff like that. I don't know if this is true, so I don't want to throw all cops under the bus. I know a few cops. I don't have a problem with them, anything like that. But they like schedule their days of tickets on days that they have off. So they make more money actually because they go in on a day off. So they make extra if they go and testify against people that they gave tickets to.
Really?
Type of thing. Now, again, I don't know if this is true, but it's just something I've heard. That's why sometimes you'll see them and they'll be in street clothes when they go in there. They're not wearing uniform or anything because they're not working that day. They went in there to make more money, and they're also in there to screw you over make sure that your ticket goes through.
Screw me over.
So
thank you.
The whole idea, and I know this is probably a very sensitive topic in the United States right now. If you're not from the United States, you're probably laughing at the United States right now for our police department. And to be honest with you, I think it's completely overdone. I think we talk about it too much. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there isn't such a thing as police brutality. Right. I definitely believe it exists. I went to a school where a police officer shot and killed one of the students and was in court for 8 months. Okay, so I knew the kid. I went to class with the guy, so I knew him. So I'm not saying that police brutality doesn't exist. I'm just saying I think we probably talk about it, and I think there are way more good cops than there are bad cops.
I gotta agree with that. Totally agree with that. I have never had a ticket, so that's one of the reasons I tend to agree with that theory. Because every time I get stopped, one of the reasons is I treat them like a human being, right? I give you my respect. I call you sir, yes sir, no sir, and then they treat me fair as well. And they're like,
man, I've always tried to treat people with respect when I get pulled over. How do I have tickets? That didn't work for me.
Part of it is
maybe it's because I actually deserved the ticket, and that's probably why. Brendan was probably like, I was going 31 and a 30. Whoops.
I can think of one instance where I deserved the ticket. And he goes, I stopped, and I was going down a hill, it's actually an area near where your grandparents lived. That little area back there.
Okay.
It's late at night. There were no other cars, and I'm doing the speed limit. And then as I go down the hill just you pick up all this extra speed. So I probably ended up going an extra 6 miles, and that's when he stopped me. And I think I may have been out of the city limits at the time, maybe not. Anyway, he pulled me over. In fact, not only did he pull me over and did he not give me a ticket, he let me in his police cruiser in the shotgun seat. Because I asked him, I said, hey, can you show me how you caught me? And he goes, yeah, I go, blah, blah, blah. So he goes over to the driver's side. I go over to the passenger side. He gets in. He opens the door for me. I get in. And I sit down. And he's showing me all this stuff and thinking, this is where I keep the shotgun, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
Really
I go, hey,
cool.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So I get back in the car. And
you're like, now I know how to trick the system. Like, I'm smarter now.
I just was like, hey, can you show me how you caught me? And the guy was like, yeah. They probably wouldn't do that nowadays. This was about 20 years ago. You guys, can you show you how you caught me? No, get out of here. Go, get on your way, right? Because they probably don't want to, like, say I'm carrying something on me, or I'm, going to film him and upload it on YouTube.
You know what? I've been inside of a cop car too. Now I was in the back seat. I wasn't arrested. Now I have to tell the story because anybody who actually listens to this is going to be like, we got way off topic. I don't know how we got here. I've been in the back of a cop car before, though. I'm pretty sure I've told you this story before. My band, Fulcrum Lake, we've mentioned.
You've told
my
me
band
this
before.
Yes.
Yeah, we played a show in Austin, and I wasn't drinking and driving, okay, and I wasn't drinking under the influence, but I had alcohol earlier that night, okay, so I had a few drinks, but that wasn't the influence factor that comes up as part of the story here in just a moment. When we left, the number one thing I hate about driving in any downtown area, I hate one-way roads.
Oh, you'd love DC.
I can't stand them. I cannot stand them. I always get lost. Don't tell me 3 lefts make a right. That's bogus. Or 3 rights make a left. Whatever you want to call it. That's stupid. I hate roads that do not have the ability to turn left and right. Like, come on, mate. Just like, come on. Like, why is that?
Let me turn here.
Let me just turn. That's my destination. Let me just turn here. So I turned on a street to head to the highway. It was only 2 blocks, mind you. But it was in front of the main downtown police department for the city of Austin. So I went down,
like,
I mean, literally right in front of the police department.
Hey, everybody, check me out. Is that what you were doing?
I'm sure the cops were probably like looking and staring as I went across, and they're like, what is this guy doing? So I get pulled over. And the first question they ask, of course, do you know why I pulled you over, blah, blah, blah. And I say, yes. I say, yes, sir. I was going in a one-way street. I'm sorry. I realized it right before I got to the highway, and I thought I might as well keep going. I'm already here. Like, what was I going to do? I'm going to turn around. I'm right here already. Like, I'm here. Anyway, he asked me, he said, what have you guys been doing tonight? Because I was with my band members, and he said, we just played a show. He said, have you had anything to drink tonight? And I said, yes. That's why I mentioned that I had alcohol earlier in the night. The alcohol did not affect my driving or make me go down that road. He just wanted to know. And because of that, he told me, because you've admitted that you had alcohol and you were driving the wrong way, I have to test you.
By law, yeah.
By law, I have to make sure that you're not driving under the influence. But because it was raining outside, he said, let's go to the gas station, but I can't let you drive, so you're going to get in the back of my car. Oh, and I was like, I was freaking out because I'm like, I don't want to get in the back of a cop car. What if he's lying to me and he just takes me to prison? Like, I don't want to get in the back.
It's all over with.
It's all over. The rest of my life, I'm doomed.
What are you in here for? I wasn't drinking?
I went down the wrong road. I went down the wrong road. I'm sorry.
Special places for guys like you.
So he did reassure me like 4 times. He had to walk me over to the car, of course, open the door for me. I didn't get cuffed or anything like that, but he told me multiple times, you're not under arrest, you're not under arrest, you're not under arrest. We just have to take you over there. Like, we have to transport. I can't let you walk over there, and I can't drive you over there. And you can't drive over there. I said, okay. I said, can my friend drive me? And I was like, my band members are in the back. I'll just sit in the passenger seat. Can they drive over? And he goes, no, I need to drive you over there. I said, all right. So yeah, I was in the back of a cop car too. And afterwards, which by the way, I don't know if you've ever seen the back of a cop car. There's no cushions in the back.
Really?
It's just like a plastic. It's like the most like it's not okay, when I say disgusting, it was clean.
Right.
It was clean, but it was the weirdest back seat I've ever been in. I'm sitting on like a plastic like McDonald's chair.
Oh, that's
or
the
something.
worst.
And the seatbelt is
yeah.
the only thing that's sticking out, and you are literally in that seat. I was caged in. Like, I felt like a freaking.
There was a cage because in the back seat is basically two seats.
No, this
right?
one was not a two. This one was two seats that was divided,
Oh,
so that you could have two different people.
Two people, throw them in there, and they couldn't kill each other.
And they couldn't kill each other.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So I was caged in. I was like, I was
like
a stray
stretch out and
dog.
go like, yeah, I'm enjoying
I was
the
a stray
ride.
dog, and they called the dog pound. I mean, that's how I felt. I'm just in this tight little air pocket thing.
Did they give you a little water bowl you could lap out of?
The only thing that I could do was I could buckle my seatbelt. And I thought to myself, I'm like, should I buckle my seat? Yeah, absolutely, I'm going to buckle my seatbelt. I'm going to make it look like I'm a smart person. But then I also thought, I'm like, man, I'm surprised that they have me caged in here, but yet they give me a seatbelt. Like, has no one ever tried to use the metal to whack at the glass or, choke them? It's, just something stupid. You'd think someone would do something. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
People have.
Absolutely.
And that's why they invented the technology to make sure they're like, you know what? If we only had some technology that would stop people from doing this.
So the last thing, the only thing I wanted to mention, the whole reason I told this story, and this is going on much longer than I expected.
This is fine.
to.
I actually am enjoying this.
Oh, well, that's good. I hope other people enjoy it too. The only reason I mentioned this is because you mentioned that your police officer showed you all these cool things. Well, I asked a bunch of questions after I passed my test about being treated for, or being tested for being under the influence. I asked him, I'm like, okay, so I'm like, do I touch my nose now? Do I get to walk in a line? And so he just told me, he said, no, actually, he said, a lot of the other things he said, you actually kind of had passed the test after like the first 3 things that I asked. I just did the extra ones just in case. And I'm like, if I passed it already, then why are you still testing me?
He's bored, man. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. He's got somebody to talk to.
It was like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, see, he's like, hey, get in the back of my police cruiser. We'll cruise around for a minute. He's like, okay, but tell me, where do you live? Where are you from? What do your parents do for a living?
Here's what I will say. So the total amount of officers that I saw that night were 3, because they had to call someone else to watch the car while I went over and got tested, and they had 2 people testing me.
So nobody else who was riding in the car could move the car?
No, they wouldn't let him get in the driver's seat or move it. They said they have to stay there until they determine what my fate was. Like, then they'll decide what they're going to do with it. So they just sat there. They just sat there under the supervision of another police officer until I came back. And of course, my band members, one of them's my little brother, Michael, him and one of my other bandmates, Brandon, are in the car, and they're like, oh my God, is Daniel going to get arrested?
Right, what's going to happen to us?
What's going to happen to us? Like, what do we do? Type of thing. And it was what I was going to say, the final thing that I'll say about this, and I'll end this story because this is good. Like I said, it's going on longer than it should.
Things that happen in your 20s.
Oh, yeah.
They don't happen when you're like in your 40s, you're married, you have kids.
Well, you never know. They could happen. You don't want them to happen, but they could happen.
When you're in your 20s, the things that happen.
So the last thing I'll say, because we talked about, and the whole reason we went on this tangent is we were talking a little bit about, we talked about police brutality for a brief moment. I will say the 3 officers that I worked with, some of the nicest police officers I've ever met in my entire life. And Austin police officers, if you've ever been in Texas, get a bad rap all the time.
Yeah, because the UT students are drunk all the time.
Exactly. I have friends and family who live in Austin, and I've had so many people complain about them. They were absolutely fine. I had no problem with them. They were polite. I was like, man, I wish my police officers in my city were as good as these ones. Like, that's how I felt about it. But
it's good, actually. That's a good story.
But anyway, to wrap this up, because this podcast has already gone past our standard.
So just a way to like tie it back in from the police story into the technology. You know they have this flashlight now that like the clickbait. I don't know if you see this clickbait everywhere now. It's like, check out new police army flashlight that is like the latest rage now that everybody wants to buy. So
apparently the things I've been searching don't give me that ad. I wonder what you're searching for though. You're searching like a most powerful camping flashlight because I need that.
No, I'm searching for like miniatures, and all these ads come up on the side like, "Do you want to date Russian women?" I'm like, "Yes, but how did I get that?" I didn't.
Okay, so what about this flashlight?
I don't know. I've never clicked on the bait click, but apparently it's like all the rage. It's like it's super powerful, and the police and the military use it, and so it's the technology that, like, if only we had a flashlight that was super powerful. Well, now they do.
Now we do. It just is one click away. So, Brendan, any final words before we wrap this up?
No, it was fun. If you please get a chance, go to iTunes. Please leave a review, give us a rating, tell your friends about the show. We greatly, seriously, it'd be humbling to have a 5-star review and people actually talk about how nice the show is. And for you to tell your friends, seriously, we would be honored if you do that. Thank you if you enjoy the show.
Absolutely. And thank you to all the listeners who have continued to tune in. And also, if you guys ever want to have a question answered or anything like that, we still have our Twitter as well. Again, we both suck at Twitter, but I'm on there occasionally. So if you send something over, I will see it eventually, and we'll have to find a way to throw it into an episode. And that's at Texas Waffles. Or if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can probably see that on the screen. But with that in mind, thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you tune in again sometime soon.